Hey guys, it's your favorite neighborhood soup lady, Caroline, right here, and I'm going to teach you another of my favorite soups. This one's called Buddha Bowl, which is like that nebulous sort of hippie kind of veggie-filled bowl, and this is my take on it. So it has a lot of veggies in it, and it does require a lot of chopping, but this one is not only my favorite one to have come together, but it's definitely my favorite one to eat. So I want to show you, it has some cool stuff in it. It has some kale, an onion, a small garnet yam or sweet potato, kohlrabi, which I'm going to show you how to break down in a minute, an entire small head of cauliflower, brown rice, turmeric, and soaked chickpeas, fire roasted diced tomatoes, and at the end we make a slurry of chickpea flour, lemon juice, and some tomato paste. All you do is you take off these kind of shoots and you can save the leaves. I recommend in this recipe you can use the leaves in with the kale, just tear them up, process them into small pieces, or you can save them for another use, which is what I'm going to do. So all you do is you take off both ends. See, so I have this, and then I sort of remove these pieces that are still sticking out just a little bit, shave them off, and then the veggie peeler can do the rest. So this part is quite tough. So I get a compost bowl and I just peel it off. And what you're looking for, see, it still is sort of fibrous. The outside, you have to get into this tender green part. You're peeling away all the pretty purple. It can also be green. Kohlrabi can also be green. But you're peeling off this outer, thick outer layer that is not very pleasant if you were to cook it. It doesn't break down. And what you're left with inside is actually this very sweet, very tender core. It has kind of a similar texture to maybe an unripe melon or a broccoli stalk. I love them, and I love eating them raw. It's this is so cute and tiny. They sometimes come in bunches of 3, or you can find them individually. I'm just looking for a teeny tiny one. So that's how you break down kohlrabi. The other cool thing that happens with those ingredients is I just take the kale, that small bunch of kale, I pull off the thick stems and I tear them into small pieces. I scrunch it with some olive oil and put it under the broiler for a few minutes to make it nice and crispy. This is also one that I could totally eat in this form, just like that kohlrabi, but instead it's going into the soup. Just gonna add some oil here. And you can see, in the meantime, we've got our broiled kale, which we did under the broiler. Torn up pieces of kale under the broiler a few minutes. It's great. It adds a nice smoky flavor. And this is that head of cauliflower I broke down. I cut it in half and cut out the core and just broke them into very small florets, about ½ inch to an inch. And then all of the core that I have left over, I just chop it into about ½ inch pieces. So that's what we've got here. And that sweet potato, cut it up into about ½ inch, 1 inch pieces. And the kohlrabi, same deal. The only thing that goes in to start is just this oil that's now nice and hot. And I'm gonna add my onion, season it with some salt. We're gonna let that cook, stirring occasionally until it's nice and tender. All right, great. So we're ready for this next step. Our onion is nice and golden and tender. I'm gonna add the turmeric, my rice, and the chickpeas. Lastly, my tomato. I love fire roasted tomatoes when you want a little bit of depth in there. And I think it goes well with the sort of roasted kale that we have. Now we add our water. We don't add the rest of the veggies yet. They come in soon. It's an awful lot of water. You'll see it ends up being a really big pot of soup with all those veggies. All right, so all we do is season this with salt, bring it to a boil, and then we're just gonna simmer this until the chickpeas are basically almost cooked. And then you add the rest of the ingredients. We've got our broiled kale, our cauliflower florets, our ½ inch, 1 inch pieces of our yam, and that kohlrabi I showed you. It's not a big addition, but it's a really powerful one. I love this ingredient. Okay, so we're just gonna bring this to a boil and have it come to a simmer and then add the rest of our ingredients. All right, so what's happened here, the chickpeas were tender, so I added the rest of the ingredients and I simmered them for just a few minutes because they're very, very quick cooking. And the last step is a fun one. I've made this slurry that I told you about with that tomato paste, the chickpea flour, some cider vinegar, and some salt and water. And now I'm just going to stir this all in, and then it will thicken the broth, which makes a kind of, I mean, it would be delicious like this too, but it just kind of binds it all together and turns it into what I would think of as like a bowl, you know? I don't know, I thought of it sort of as like a dressing or something, and it's all, I finish all of my soups with some sort of acid, and I always recommend you check for your own flavor adjustments, like the salt and the acid, lemon juice or vinegar. I'm just gonna add a little bit more salt, a little more pepper, and a little bit more vinegar. But really, as I say, that part's really up to you, just a touch. So this is my Buddha bowl soup recipe. I love it so much. Like I said, it's a little bit of chopping work to do, but it is just such a delicious soup. I'm really proud of it. I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I do. So good. That kale gets me every time. And the kohlrabi pieces, they're just such a fun little addition. And I also like to stick up for the underused vegetables that are delicious. And now you know how to break one down. This recipe for Buddha bowl soup, I call it just Buddha bowl, is in my seconds cookbook. It's available at my local bookstore, and you can get it online, booklarder.com, for signed copies. I would love for you to follow me here on YouTube. Every week I release a new episode, or at Slurp Soup Club on Instagram, where I, do teasers and lots of other fun soup-related content. Thanks for joining. I'll see you next week.